the Museo d'Historia. It is built over the Roman city Barcelona, which dates back to 1080. Parts of the walls from 300 AD are still standing. This footbridge was built in 1928 to help the Gothic quarter to look more Gothic.
This fat cat by Fernando Botero is a statue I felt my love had to see.
We didn't know it when we were walking around, but August 15th is the start of La Festa Mayor de Gracia.
Xavier Way wanted to recreate the British residential parks, which is why he named it Park Way.
Way gave Gaudi the assignment of drawing up plans for developing an estate on a large property he had acquired in Montania Pelada, Bear Mountain. The plan was for some 60 plots on the estate, with a complex network of walkways, viaducts, and steps to cope with the shape of the land. Gaudi's use of vegetation and the management of the water resources helped to prevent the erosion of the land caused by the heavy Mediterranean rain, while at the same time helping to provide the water needed by the estate's inhabitants.
The complex conditions for sale of the plots, the lack of a suitable transportation system, and the highly exclusive character for the development all made it unviable. A lack of buyers led to the works being abandoned in 1914, with only 2 of the 60 houses envisioned having been built. The park thus became a large private garden, which Way allowed to be used for public events. Later, it began to appear in tourist guides of Barcelona as one of the attractions for the city.
After no one was interested to buy this house, Way sold it to Gaudi. Gaudi moved there in 1906 with his father.
I found Gaudi's simple bedroom contradicted with his designs. The garden is much more elaborate.
The house was designed by Francesc Berenguer and not Gaudi himself. Gaudi spent the last 20 years of his life here. Thanks to the work of friends of Gaudi, Gaudi's house opened to the public in 1963.
I wanted to set up a fixed line from the top, so what better place then to go than through this hole at Viaduc des Fauvets.
Bonjour.
Il y a du monde.
Bonne descente. Merci.
I do like showing off a bit. It is about 30 meters or 100 feet from the ground. This will allow me to practice ascending the rope. I am getting ready for a trip to Yosemite and climb El Capitan again.
Casa Vicens, situated in the Gracia neighborhood of Barcelona, was Gaudi's first major project. It was built between 1883 and 1885. Despite being some of his early work, it still has the unique feel that makes it truly Gaudi.
The work belongs to the Orientalist style, interpreted in Gaudi's own personal way. Gaudi outlines some of his constructive resources that would become regular features throughout the emergence of modernism. The work was widely discussed when it was built and caused a great sensation among the general public. Gaudi used an abundance of ceramic tiling to decorate his work, as well as arches, columns of exposed brick, and temple-shaped or dome-shaped finishes.
The original project had a large garden area in addition to the house, but over time the land was subdivided and sold for the construction of residential buildings. Nowadays, the property has been reduced to the house and a small surrounding area and is enclosed by the neighborhood.
El Capitan is 3,000 feet tall. To practice, I would jamar up the rope, rappel back down, and repeat it again and again and again and again.
Basilica de la Sagrada Familia is currently the largest unfinished Roman Catholic church. Construction began in 1882 under architect Biar. In 1883, Biar resigned and Gaudi took over as chief architect, transforming the project with his style. The Nativity facade was the first facade to be completed. It is dedicated to the birth of Jesus.
The church plan is that of a Latin cross with 5 aisles. The central nave vaults reach 45 meters, 148 feet. Gaudi intended that a visitor standing in the main entrance to be able to see the vaults of the nave, crossing and apse. The columns of the interior are a unique Gaudi design. Besides branching to support their load, their ever-changing surfaces are the result of the intersection of various geometric forms. Essentially, none of the interior surfaces are flat. The ornamentation consists in a large part of abstract shapes which combine smooth surfaces and jagged points.
We went up in the Patient Tower to explore its narrow passages and see the splendid views. Gaudi devoted the remainder of his life to the designing and the overseeing of construction of La Sagrada Familia, and he is buried in the crypt. At the time of his death in 1926, less than a quarter of the project was complete. The Sagrada Familia's construction progressed slowly and was interrupted by the Spain Civil War. In July 1936, revolutionaries set fire to the crypt and broke their way into the workshop, partially destroying Gaudi's original plans. This led to 16 years of work to piece together the fragment of a master model.
Some of the project's greatest challenges remain, including the construction of 10 more spires, each symbolizing an important biblical figure in the New Testament. Not just the geometry of La Sagrada Familia, but the different and vivid colors separate this temple from all the others that I have visited. To me, it gives a more welcoming feel.
This very steep and narrow spiral staircase that you can see to the bottom is not the best place to be if you happen to have vertigo. It was cloudy when we arrived. When we came back in, it was clear. We were amazed by the colors that the sun and the stained glass windows created. You should come if only to see this live show. The Passion Facade. Keep learning and having fun.